Suck the life right out of my veins when you spoke my name. Got the kind of thing going that tips the scales. Yeah, you keep me sane. I'll be the clouds beyond your skies. I'll flutter by like butterflies. I'll be the blue inside your eyes. Your crazy loving keeps me paralyzed.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Alliance Live Show 88. So, we're coming up to the millennium mark here, and is it the centennial mark? It's the millennium mark, right? No.
Centennial.
Centennial mark here. Okay. So, yeah, we're coming up to the centennial mark here. So, when we get to the 100th episode, we'll try to do something special. Maybe we'll have some old guests back, some old co-hosts. Try to get a special guest. Maybe one of my fellow game changers besides, obviously Maurice and TMoney and, it will come join us. Maybe I can get Warrior on here or something like that. That'd be kind of cool. But we'll see. Either way, a lot to discuss. We have a new ship. We've got a rework coming. We've got a possible ancient hero's journey or ancient villain's journey. We don't know what it's going to be called, but we've got an ancient journey coming. And, yeah, so let's dive right in. First and foremost, I want to introduce, the co-hosts. My good old buddy, good old Maurice. How you doing, my friend?
Hello there. Doing well. How you doing?
Hello there. And also, we're joined by Abby. She wasn't able to be here on the last show, but she's available tonight. So, Abby, how's it going?
It's doing great. And Maurice, that hello, wow, that was totally sexy.
Thanks. We're working on it.
Awesome. So, let's kind of take a look here at the Ebon Hawk. So, first and foremost, just want to kind of unlock it here on the stream for you guys, see where I'm at. 104 of 80. Try to gun for 5 stars if possible. But we're going to give our initial thoughts on it here. And, I'll try to level it up a little bit and see if we could take it in, for a test run. I am, like rank 400, so I should be able to do some damage. So what do you think about it?
Oh, yeah. I think it's pretty awesome. I think it's one of the best ships in the game. If you don't have Cassian's U-Wing, you don't really need him anymore. So this ship is just better. It's got a new basically ability that allows you to be immune to target locks, and so many ships relying heavily on target lock to be effective. This is going to be interesting to see. Fits just about anywhere. I mean, you can fit it on the Rebel team to synergize with the Rebels. It does have cargo ship synergies within its kit, so all the bounty hunter ships, I think, are cargo ships. The Millennium Falcon itself is a cargo ship. The Phoenix ships, I believe, are cargo ships as well. So it's got a lot of defensive synergies with those ships. So that's it's going to fit everywhere. I'm really looking forward to getting it. I don't have T3 even remotely close, so it's going to be a while. So it will remain unlocked. But no, I'm looking forward to it.
What are your initial thoughts on it, Avi?
I think it's going to be awesome. I've already been working, and I'm almost at 6 stars right now.
Oh, you're almost at 6 stars.
I'm almost at 6. I should be able to get 6 stars, hopefully tonight at reset. I think I've got about 15 more shards to go.
What, if you don't mind me asking, what do you how many refreshes are you doing? 5? You doing all the 200s as well?
I'm doing the 200s as well, because when you look at the cost of the pack, which is $1,299, and you get maybe you're lucky to get 7 shards.
Yeah.
So I figure, okay, well, if I do a refresh and I can get 8, I can get at least 8 shards out of it. So I'm actually winning by doing extra refreshes up to a certain point. I even have done some of the 800 refreshes. So,
wow,
and that's
Oh.
If you think it. Right, because if you think about it, the 800 is less than a $12.99 pack, which the minimum you're going to get is 5 out of that. So if I'm doing an 800 refresh, I actually been extremely lucky and have mostly gotten 7 or 8 shards out of it.
I mean, realistically, when you do the math, it still works out to do the refreshes, but
Abby's making it rain.
Abby is making it rain.
Because I did 1 200 every day, and I bought that energy refresh pack, right? And I'm nowhere as close to 6 star. I mean, I'm going to be comfortably into 5, but maybe 15 or 20 extra tops. I'm just curious for next time. So, thanks.
I kind of did the math, but I only did it on one account. I am not doing it at all on the other ones. I'm just kind of concentrating on one, and it's the guild that needs the most help with it. So by having it.
Did you bank energy at all?
Yes, I did. I banked energy. I bought that energy, and then I was extremely lucky. I hit those hard nodes, and I almost got 8 just about every single time.
Cool. Yeah.
So do you think I should slap on these reinforcement abilities?
If you're going to use it.
I think so. I think it's extremely helpful. I
did that. You got to get it to 5 star.
Dude, come on, 432. Oh man.
You got to get it to 5 star to get
slap that on there.
Just keep that in mind.
Dispel all
it has to be
on all enemies.
Yeah, it has to be 5 star.
Yep, so you just committed yourself to that 5 star now, buddy. You're like, well.
Yeah. I did.
Yeah.
I'm listen. I mean, I'm going to get it to 5 stars. I mean, the problem is that it's behind Carthonasi, who's like ridiculous to farm. I mean,
but the good news is, yes, even if your pilots suck, even if your ship actually sucks. We saw it in the case of Anakin, where just a crappy Anakin ship come in and changed the game. I mean, it doesn't matter the strength of your pilots. If you're just bringing it off in reinforcement, you're going to dispel all the buffs. You're going to put chaff everywhere. You're going to dispel actually all the target lock, I believe, as well. So you're getting rid of all the target lock, preventing your ships from getting target locked and dispelling the other team. Just as a reinforcement ability, it doesn't matter. You could bring in Gear 1 pilots if you wanted, So that reinforcement ability is top notch.
That's what you want, yeah.
Yeah.
I just did a 200 refresh, Avi, and it made me cringe inside.
I know. I don't normally ever do that. I honestly don't do that. But I thought, compared to buying the pack and getting however many shards I've been getting, I was extremely lucky.
I'm going to be buying more crystals anyway here tomorrow, so I figure why not.
You could throw some in Maurice's and my accounts if you like. You know that.
No. I'm gonna barely make it as it is with these characters. And a lot of people have had a chance here to get prepped. This is where I'm at right now. So I mean, I've got Juhani at 11 of 100. I've got Karth at 29 of 85. Damn Karth Onassi. And Canderous and Bassil are pretty much there. So I mean, I'm just not touching them. I mean, I am because I'm using. Well, actually, you know what I'm doing right now? I'll tell you the truth. Is I stopped farming Canderous altogether. Because, I mean, I need 11 shards to get Canderous to 7 stars.
Mm-hmm.
And what I've been farming is actually... hold on one second. I've been using my Cantina refreshes now to farm Sith Marauder. Okay, and I'll tell you why. I'm not 100% sold that HK-47 is the 5th character. And I have a feeling that it could either be Sith Assassin or Sith Marauder as well. There's a chance, right? Like, I mean, like, if you wanted to catch some people off guard that maybe aren't necessarily going to be prepared. I mean, everybody has HK-47 ready. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like if I had to pick any characters in the game that could be the 5th character for the event, it's going to be either HK, Jedi Knight Revan, or Sith Marauder. Right? Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like there's a chance at Sith Marauder because he's also the character for the month. So I just don't want to be caught with my pants down, thinking it's HK-47, and then all of a sudden I have a week to finish Sith Marauder, who I've put a pass on now multiple times because of other characters being put into the cantina. Like, so I haven't been 51 of 65. I'm just going to farm him up for the next 2 weeks because I'm pretty much done with Canderous. And hopefully I'll get him into like the close to 7-star range. So if I do find out like last minute that it is Sith Marauder, I'm within striking distance. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So and that's just kind of what I'm hoping for, because I kind of feel like now the way things are going, because I mean they still haven't even announced the details of the HK rework, that we're still probably looking at somewhere around 9 days. Before they announce this event, or at least 9 days before the event starts. So I just have a feeling it's not going to happen on the 15th. They're going to tell us a few days in advance, but I feel like somewhere between the 15th and the 20th is when this event will either be announced or start.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think, Maurice? Is Maurice still with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm muted. I couldn't find the button.
Oh, I thought
there's a chance. There's a chance. I'm actually growing to like Sith Marauder a little bit. He's actually useful in a very, very few instances. He's very good against Nest. That's really about it. It's very, very in-game character. Like it's not. You should not farm him to start your adventures in this game. But he is a good character to have for that ship. I mean, the ship's good. So it's not going to kill you. You got 11 shards to go to Ordo. You get within striking distance of Marauder, so you're flexible to hop to whatever you need to finish it off. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm thrown off now. I don't know what they're going to do. I thought I was for sure Revan was coming like this week, right? I think a couple weeks ago. And now I'm just like, well,
this is so fishy, right? Like I mean, like it feels like they're giving us too much time to get the characters, right? Like as if like I feel like now it's going to either be a really hard event, or
well, you mentioned Revan as a possibility, and that makes sense. If you think about to the very, very first hero's journey, right? We had to use Farm Boy Luke in those ridiculous flash events. You guys remember those?
Oh God!
Like we just like fought these Jawas over and over and over again to get just like massive quantities of this is like level 8, 9-ish gear that those of us that played still probably have stacked up. I can't tell you. I probably have 20 MK3 comlinks still from that event. Like they just gave you so many of these fully crafted pieces, but you had to start the journey and you worked your way up. So it would make sense if we do get a Darth Revan, you would have to have Jedi Knight Revan And that's going to instantly limit a lot of people. Just there's no way they can get him. You know, they're going to miss him. They can have all the characters. There's going to be a twist. There's going to be something.
It's going to be something. Yeah, it's just sitting and waiting and trying to figure out what they're going to do. That's the hard part.
I'm just hoping I can make some ground on Cartho Nasty. I'm at 29 of 85, and I mean his shards are like just a pain in the tuchus. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's like Maurice is, the Orient Express is driving by Maurice's house right now. The Polar Express. The Polar Express is taking Maurice to the North Pole.
That was loud. Golly, my bad.
That was, yeah.
That's all right. But yeah, no, I mean, I feel like Karth is just such a grind. You know, I mean, it's like, I mean, I know that they had to make something hard, and I guess that's what they're kind of falling on, is that people are going to be short on Karth and need to buy packs. But I mean, and I have no problem doing that. I mean, you know, whatever. If I have to buy some packs at the end to get Karth done, I could buy Karth right now, 25 shards out of the shipments, which would probably make more sense, to be honest with you. But yeah, I mean, it's just, he's so slow to farm anything out of that ship. Those ship nodes is ridiculous. I mean, like, just ridiculous.
I agree with that. I saved every time. Yeah, I just used my arena crystals and stuff that I had built up a bit, and I would buy like a few shards when he first came out, a few shards at a time, like 4 shards. I might go 8 once in a while, but usually 4. So I was lucky. What is today? Monday. Last week I got him to 7 stars last week.
Who, Karth?
Yeah.
Well, that's because you're a whaley whale. You know what
I mean? I'm not a whaley whale. I swear to God, I'm not a whaley whale.
You're you're an intermediate to you're an intermediate whale. You're not a kraken, but you're a blue whale.
Oh, definitely not.
You know?
A little tiny whale, you know this.
Maurice is a kraken. Now Maurice is kind of like a dolphin, you know, and I'm a beached whale. You know, just a whale that can't swim anymore with the rest of the whales. You know, but you know, yeah, I don't know. It's just
I got him back. Sorry, I'll mute the whole time.
That's all right. Yeah, so I mean, my game plan is just continue to farm Juhani until I get her to a reasonable distance. You know, I'm gonna start like upping the ante on Cartho Nasty a little bit every day, just trying to get him as ready as possible. I mean, if I can get to 0 of 100 on Cartho Nasty, I'll feel okay on that. You know, whenever the event's coming,
right.
You know, I know that they'll probably have some pack, and you know, it'll cost me $100, $200. But that's fine. You know, but I mean, it's still a lot of money. But you know, as far as that goes, it's still cheaper than a marquee character. You know, and if that's for Darth Revan, you know.
You know what they could do, you know, and Zachary Robinson just kind of brought it up in the chat. If they did like another resource drain, like let's say that Darth Malak is a legendary character, right? And you need the 5-star Marauder, Trooper, and Assassin with a gear check. That's going to be very, very difficult. Those are 3 Cantina farms. A high energy Cantina farm.
God,
and
yeah.
you have to have them gear 10-11. Those are not easy characters to gear. Or definitely not Sith Trooper. You know, I don't remember Assassin has been so long, but like that would be difficult for a lot of people. You know, you yourself, I mean, you've been playing since day one. You're still working on Sith Marauder. You know, just he's not a necessary character. Neither is Sith Assassin. Unless the only reason you should have Sith Assassin is pretty much if you played during the Darth Maul meta. Like, there's really not been much else that she's been great for a long, long time.
Right.
I was fortunately able to go back and get her done before anybody relevant came back into the Cantina nodes, and now I have her done at 7 stars. But I mean, her gear level is is laughable. So I mean. it's just one of those things where, yeah, I mean, Sith Marauder, Sith Assassin could totally be the other character. Revan could be the character. HK could be the character. I just want to be prepared for all possibilities. I'm sure that that's what they want too, is for everybody to kind of go in a frenzy and gear up and star up all the characters that they think could be possible. But, you know, again, I just want to be in a situation where, like, I mean, Sith Marauder, it's just, I feel like it's too coincidental for him to be the monthly character, and for HK47 and Revan, I mean, I feel like a lot of people would freak out if Revan was a part of the event, because there's people that wouldn't be able to get him because they have to wait till the event returns. So, I mean, I feel like because of that reason, they're not going to pick Revan, and that's just something, because I feel like they don't want the backlash from the people that aren't going to be able to do it because they just don't have Revan yet. You know, there's going to be new players that just started the game, you know, this past week or something like that, and they won't be able to get Revan. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, you know, they're going to want, like,
if you started the game as March 2nd, you do not need Darth Revan the 4th week of the game.
Oh, no,
you know what I mean?
but believe me,
that would be a $3,000 character. This is like, you know.
But there's somebody that will do it. I mean, there's
sure.
insta whales. Okay, there's guys that just started the game a month ago that already have a better roster than me. Okay, and it's because, you know, they whaled out on Chromium packs. They whaled out on every character that came out since. And when Revan drops out, you know, they're gonna have, if they find out that, you know, it's behind a journey character that they can't get right now because they can't pay, CG wants that money. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're gonna give that guy an opportunity to buy the packs to be able to get the characters. So I feel like they're not going to put it behind. Even though, listen, I mean, it makes sense for Revan to be that 5th character. It does. I just feel like there would be some backlash about it from a few people. So I think that they might just the reason I'm hesitant to say it's Revan is I think that they're going to possibly try to make it so that anybody can get him. So I don't know. I mean, that's just my thought behind it. I mean, you know, it's, you know, but your guess is as good as mine. You know, it could be HK47, it could be Sith Assassin, it could be Sith Marauder. But I feel comfortable in the fact that it's going to be one of those 4 characters. So that's just why I'm kind of working on them. I mean, you know, they could pull somebody out of left field for all we know. They could not even have an event because we're all ready for it and just wait, you know, and then just make Revan a marquee character in 6 months.
Yeah, we honestly know. We honestly know nothing that you guys don't know. You know, like, we find out stuff at the same time you do. It's not, you know, we don't have the inside scoop. This is all just speculating.
They have made 0 promises that there's an event coming. They've mentioned nothing about an event. There's been no. The only thing that we've gotten is a hint about HK47 in the Road Ahead blog, right? Because of the meat bag thing. So they're not bound to actually have an event. If they really felt like they would make more money from putting Revan out as a marquee character, you know, wouldn't that be the ultimate surprise if all of a sudden, you know, Revan came out? You know, all the farming that you did, Revan's going to still cost you $400.
Yeah.
That could totes happen, man. That could totes happen right now. And I would be livid. I'll tell you right now, I would be livid. You know, and I would also be. It would be a shame on me for buying into the fact that it is, you know, that I could be prepared for this. You know, so it's like, you know, but I feel like a lot of the things that they're doing lately have been to kind of trump people's expectations. Like, I think that the Grievous thing was going to come out at the end of the year last year, and they didn't do it because people thought that it was happening. So because there was a lot of stuff, like a lot of chatter going on, a lot of rumors going around about Grievous getting a rework and him getting a capital ship and all this other stuff, I feel like that stuff didn't drop because, you know, they were just, you know, they didn't want people to be ready for it. You know what I'm saying? And I think that because people have been able to farm these characters now for quite some time, because, you know, people kind of caught on to that mistake with Gamorrean Guard on McMull's video, you know, it's pretty much, out there now to get your Old Republic characters for sure, because there's some, character that's coming that has 3 Zetas, right? So I feel like if they wanted to really trump everyone's expectations, just make Revan a marquee character. We've never announced that Revan was going to be a part of a journey, even though, it would kind of be screwed up because they already started the ancient journey with Jedi Knight Revan, so it would be kind of ridiculous to not finish off the journey, right? Because a journey is more than one event.
Right.
So, but they could just say, oh, we never said there was going to be an event. Revan's a marquee character, and it's 3 shards for $15.99 crystals. And you know what? There would be if he was a ridiculous character, they would make a ton of money. They never put these kinds of characters into marquee. The most amazing characters in the Star Wars lore, they're always like journey or legendary characters, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they made Luke Skywalker with it, from Return of the Jedi, a marquee character tomorrow, they would make a ridiculous amount of money, because people would feel like they're forced to spend $300.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And people would be upset, because people would be like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to be able to get Luke, But I'm saying the thing is that if they really wanted to, jam, a cash grab down your throat, that's how to do it. Just Revan's marquee. It's going to cost you $500.
They did it with Nihilus. That's exactly what they did with Nihilus.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, oh, boycott the Citadel packs, boycott. And they're like, here's Nihilus. We're like, oh, we're just kidding. Let me get that Nihilus. Oh, we're just kidding about that boycott. Let me get that Annihilate.
I bought Nihilus. I bought Nihilus as there's no way I was not going to have Nihilus. There's no way I'm not going to have Revan. You know what I mean? So it's like, if they just threw that on me, I'd be literally in a situation where I'd feel like I'm kind of, not only just for myself, but for my team, like obligated to get this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, and this is one of the characters that I've wanted since the game came out. Besides having Jedi Revan, Darth Revan, and really, Return of the Jedi Luke are the main characters that I still want in this game. So, of course, if any of those characters were behind a paywall, I'd probably, open my wallet. But, I feel like there's a lot of players that kind of feel the same way. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. There could be nothing coming, but all signs point to Ancient Journey sometime pretty soon here within the next week and a half, I'd say. So keep your eyes peeled for any news, any Gamorrean guards with 3 Zetas, and we'll see what happens. I'm gonna go into a battle here and try out this ship. So, do you think the Ebon Hawk is a starter?
No.
No?
No.
Don't tell me that.
Maybe, but no. The first, what'd you do with that Palpatine shuttle in there?
That's still in there from the last time we streamed, the Palpatine shuttle.
Oh, that's the last time you did a ship battle? It's just,
That's the last time I did a ship battle.
You just hop in there and hit that retreat, huh?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's ships for me. All right, so let's go. Ebon Hawk, 4 stars. Absolutely not ready for battle at all. I'm going to go ahead and go in here and see what we can do. We're going to call him the Ebon Hawk. All right, so...
Nathaniel Morgan says Ramon fluffed his GP with Shuttle and Hawk. I don't think Ramon really cares.
No. My GP doesn't matter to me.
That's what I use in Grand Arena there, McFly. Just clock it to where your Hermit Yoda goes.
All right, Ebon Hawk, baby.
Trying to think how I have it again.
Okay, so what do these things do here? Deal physical damage to target enemy, inflict buff immunity for 2 turns, dispel target lock from all allies, and grant them chaff for 2 turns. This attack gains 10% critical chance for each other cargo ship ally. Okay. And then we've got Potent Pilot. Deal physical damage to target enemy and dispel all buffs on them. This attack deals 10% more damage for each ally with Chaff. And can't be evaded by Sith enemies. Okay. Alright, well, let's just dispel this guy. No, not my Ebon Hawk! Don't do it to the Ebon Hawk. Okay. No, that did like no damage. So Chaff is this little starry thing over here?
Yes.
That's Chaff.
Is that chaff or maybe it's chafe?
Yeah, yeah.
Looks like chafe to me.
Yeah, well, yeah. It'll chafe me to use it if it's not very good.
Okay, so basically we also have did they announce that you said some quality of life updates are coming?
Yeah, hold on, let me pull that post back up. Yep. Yeah, they did confirm today that the... Here we go. How about I just read it? So I'm not just like talking. All right. Yeah, they basically confirmed that advance notice around our upcoming quality of life. The development of the quality of life update is complete and currently being reviewed by first parties. I don't know about you guys, but I'm not a member of any first party. Are you?
No.
Nope.
No reviews here from us, so we expect to launch this update midweek. So that means, like, midweek to me is Tuesday through Thursday. So, and of course, the changes are going to be detailed in the Road Ahead blog. This is, of course, subject to change based on if we or the platform holders find any critical bugs. They won't find any critical bugs, but as soon as they release it, we will find critical bugs within 15 to 20 seconds as a community.
Yes.
So don't you worry about that. We got you, CG Chrome. We'll take care of that for you. Let's go ahead and give us this quality of life update. Pretty pumped about this one. It's going to have the... I guess we can just real quick. You're going to be able to access your squad loadouts, which is something I've been asking for personally for a long, long time. There's going to be some sort of element of the simming the Rancor raid for your guild if you completed X amount of times. I'm just kind of paraphrasing. They're going to put the names on the characters in your character loadout screen now, which actually, like, we were making fun of that. But in the ships, that'd be kind of helpful. I don't know about you, but I'm trying to pick ships like just kind of quickly on the left side. I have a hard time distinguishing the TIE pilots and the difference between Wedge and Biggs. Like, there's been numerous times where I've tried to select Biggs kind of quickly. You go in there and it's Wedge, and I have no taunt and just get destroyed. So,
I just automatically look for the certain tilt of the ship. That's what I look for when I'm picking Biggs.
you have a keener eye than I do. There's the element of now you can toggle on and off this scaling of the buffs. You can, if you don't like to see 85 buffs on the screen, you can click this and it will show 2 or 3 of the most significant buffs, and then that's, I might have missed something, but that's the gist of it. So
yeah, the buff part of it. The buff part of it is nice because there are times on the opposing team where you've got so many buffs. I can't tell. I can't even click on the person that I need, and I can't tell if they, like, for example, if GK has the taunt, or if he doesn't have the taunt anymore. I should say that's probably a better way to look at it. And they're just covered with it, and I can't even see their health and see how far I've knocked them down. Like if I'm going up against a Revan team, so it's hard to see who I need to focus on. And there goes the choo-choo train again.
Maurice, Santa really wants you.
Jesus, this conductor tonight, he's not playing any game.
Tom Hanks is really serious. I mean,
Well, I'm trying to mute my mic, it's not working. Dude's putting some oomph in it, tooting those horns.
I agree though. I feel like the I feel like the whole buffs thing is cool. The other thing that's cool is being able to see the gear levels when you're equipping characters for let's say, when you're equipping characters for any team. I mean, like, if you're sitting there trying to put together teams to go in and fight on territory wars, sometimes when you look at your squad, you can see the gear levels now, like, on the screen, right? Like, they'll be like on the upper right hand corner.
Right.
So it'll make it a little bit easier to identify certain characters sometimes. I still sometimes look and I wonder if it's Jawa Engineer or it's Chief Nevitt. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, they're pretty. I'm usually pretty on point with it, but it's really just a matter of because they're both the same gear level and they both look like they're kind of holding a gun on the right hand side. Yeah, it's tough to tell sometimes.
Right.
And it's good.
Yeah, I hate to be a Jawaist, but yeah, they all kind of look alike.
Well, that's very Jawaist of you.
Thank you.
It's very racist of you.
I think. But oh no,
if
go
you
ahead.
use the
Please.
Jawas as a full faction to try to take something down, you need to watch more streams about the game. You don't need to be doing that. you need to get out of there.
You see this? Somebody's saying I'm quiet. Okay, I'm gonna up the gain a little bit. You tell me if that's better. Okay, am I louder now, or is that just because I'm talking more into the mic than I was before?
You sound the same to me, but I can't.
Sounds the same to me.
Now,
yeah.
bear in mind these effects are going to be more amplified for them on the stream because I'm going through a soundboard here, so like I can make effects for my voice, like we could twang it up here, and
you guys can hear my crazy voice.
let's get let's get them to hear you before you start adding sound effects.
Yeah, sound effects. Sound effects, but I mean, like, but it's
yeah, it's I don't know. I gotta mess around with that to get a little better. I mean, listen, I'm really looking at like a board of like 1,000 knobs, and I just don't know which way. If I turn that one, if I'm just gonna like sound like a. Yeah, sometimes it sounds like really like the way I had it set.
It was like to sound like a really dark, deep, evil, demonic voice, but it could also be high pitched right now. I don't know if
I have it set correctly.
Oh yeah, okay, I just heard it. Yeah, all right.
You sound like I sound like General Grievous. Okay. Yeah.
Master Jedi.
Ramon Vader. Oh, I like that one.
Quality of life, guys. We're getting it. Hooray.
Yay. Woo, yay.
Oh, Kylo Ren, grandfather, I will finish what you started.
But yeah. So okay. So the gain sounds better now. That's good. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, I think that there's definitely a lot to think about as far as the like I kind of got totally off topic. We were talking about the quality of life stuff, right? So I think there's a lot to think about as far as like different updates they can make. I mean, obviously, we've all wanted certain quality of life updates for a long time, like sandbox mode and things like that. But I don't think those things are ever going to happen. I mean, the small things that they do to make it easier, I think they're going to make it able for us to sim the raid, right?
Right. Yeah.
We've already decided as a collective that we're not going to do it. I think. I mean, we still need to talk about it a little bit, but I don't think we're going to sim because I think there's still people that want to. That want to go through the trouble of raiding the Rancor raid, and
for like.
Who are we to stop them from trying to get top tier rewards for taking the time to raid? So, for anybody that doesn't want to raid, they'll just post. They'll just join, and for anybody that wants to raid, they can still do that.
Yeah.
I don't think it should.
Yeah, it was kind of a it was kind of an iffy thing in our guild. You know what people really kind of wanted to do. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like the Rancor is like what, a whole 5 minutes. So that's not quite as long as say a hat raid takes. So who knows, when that might be simmed sometime down the road, and that would probably be more likely. But then again, who knows? So.
Well, I mean, you can make a case for sometimes. If somebody's taking the time and setting the alarm to show up and do the Rancor, they probably deserve the better rewards than, somebody like me that's often sitting in game and doesn't even realize the raid's going on until I see
no, that
complete.
Yeah, that happens to me all the time. The raid times for me just kind of suck, and they're just really bad for me. So, and plus, I'm always doing something for the guild. So, and it's like, oh man, I forgot the raids again. So it's been so long since I've done a raid, I forgot how to do them.
Oh, collect 20 light side ships, 100 crystals. Thank you. I'm more excited about that 500 ally points. Thank you.
I do about 1 Rancor per month. Yeah, I make about 2. I always miss the ones where I'm like, I win the RNG game and I'm like top of the board. So it's like all I have to do is play it and I guarantee to get first place. I miss those all the time.
Yeah.
Because I'll see myself, or like I'll be like the first 0 in the list. All I do is like open my phone and remember, set an alarm, and I could have had top 5.
He sounded like Vader if he was a child molester. Okay. All right, that's funny. I had to chuckle at that. But yeah, so let's do the huge. It's time to get into the meta reports and the top 5, and then we'll do another ship battle and we'll do the Q&A. So getting into the meta. Revin. Next page. Let's go.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
these are going to be quick from here on out.
Yeah. Listen, until something changes, there's really not much to look at. So I'm just going to skip through it and just kind of go over what's going on. There really wasn't much there to look at. It really was just the same exact report from last week, except there were 8 Darth Mauls there at the end. And for those Darth Mauls at rank 1, God bless you. Yeah, again, with the top 10 squad members at rank 1, really not much to say here, other than, there's a whole bunch of people using Revan, and the majority of the people are using... Revan has actually climbed. Yes, there are more Revans than there were the other day. So, more people are getting their Revan up to snuff. They're getting the right mods on the Revan team, and they feel more comfortable switching from their Treya teams or CLS teams or whatever they were using before. There are the majority of people are using the traditional Grandmaster Yoda, Revan, Jolie, General Kenobi, and Bastila teams, and then you have a few people that are sneaking in Hermit Yoda instead of Bastila, or Hermit Yoda instead of Jolie, and then they have some people sneaking in Chewbacca instead too. So that's why you see them kind of behind there at ranks 6 and 7. And then you have the people that are just diehard Sith fans that are rocking Darth Nihilus, Darth Sion, and Grand Admiral Thrawn. But, yeah. That's pretty much it for the top 10 squad members. Now we're going to look at the top 10 squad members for ships. And again, this also hasn't changed. It's Houndstooth, Millennium Falcon, Home 1, Biggs Darklighter. That's pretty much the story here.
I was hoping Ebon Hawk would just sneak in there, just people testing him. He did not.
I did not look at the reinforcements yet entirely. So.
Oh, true. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll take a look at that here in a second if he sneaks in. But I mean, again, it's a little early. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people have unlocked him yet or even gotten him ready to be there. Not everybody has just a year's worth of ship ability mats just saved because they don't do ships. Wink, wink. Yeah, so let's go to the reinforcements at rank 1. And is he there? No. So Cassian's U-Wing still dominates. Biston's Ewing Slave 1 is at rank 10. So
Come on, Slave 1, get out of there. What are you doing there?
I bet you that the Ebon Hawk will be on this list next week.
I mean, Slave 1 is serviceable, but I have never liked that ship. It underwhelms me every time I use it. I'm just like, oh, here comes this big bomb. It's like, oh.
I think there will be.
Yeah.
I think there will be more than 800. I think there'll be more than 900 Ebon Hawks in Fleet Arena as a reinforcement next week. Yes.
I think if you've already invested in Cassian's ship, I mean, while Ebon Hawk is better, you're getting the same thing out of it. I don't know if you really want to dump all those Omegas and the character gear and all that. I mean, you might not need it, but still, you've already got Cassian's, all the ship Megas and that. And I don't know.
Well, I think
that's why I'm kind of keeping her on the bench for now. I don't want to GP 50K.
I think there will be people using 5-star Ebon Hawks, and I think that there are a lot of whales in this game. So I think that there will be, there will at least be 50 Team Instinct members on there with Ebon Hawks and their reinforcements next week, just for fun, if nothing else. Yeah, I mean, so, I think that you're looking at probably at least making the end of the list, but the Silencer got bumped off the list.
Yeah.
Which is kind of interesting. Slave 1 is overtaking the Silencer. And more people are rocking Biston's Ewing. People love that Biston.
Yeah, Biston's good. I don't even use bigs. I use Biston in my starting lineup. Just bring him Phantom and Ghost, and it's pretty much over. Like just bring the pain. I don't use it. I use Houndstooth obviously, but I don't use bigs at all. But you can use bigs, Biston, and Millennium Falcon. Especially in TW.
It's a good reinforcement ship. I mean, the ability to dispel all the debuffs or all the buffs when it comes in alone would make it worth the investment. I mean, it's just an extra ship you could throw in at the end there that, maybe it won't be your first reinforcement. I mean, you're still going to use the Phantom 2 first, but it could be up there as one of the ships that gets used more predominantly. What were you saying, Maurice?
I think it's a very good ship.
Yeah.
A lot of guys in the chat are saying they use it. I don't know what their star levels are, but Doge just said he uses both. Looks like Nathaniel Morgan, Zachary Robinson are talking about their ships. Looks like Nathaniel maybe uses both as well. So
I think Nathaniel's saying that the Cassian's Ewing is still better, and I kind of agree with him. I kind of agree. I feel like it's gonna. I feel like you'll use it also. I think you'll use both. I think it'll just overtake like the Ghost.
Cassian is better in a Rebel fleet, probably. Ebon Hawk is going to be much more versatile, and you can probably use them in any fleet, especially. Yeah. I mean, just by using them with Houndstooth alone, it's going to get that defensive boost from the cargo ship. So they kind of think Houndstooth and Ebon Hawk are going to start being like a little tag team.
Zach Robinson, don't talk about Ahsoka, okay? She's a non-factor in this game, and it's sad, okay? Because she's a big deal, okay? She is a big deal. Ahsoka's my homegirl. All right, let's move on to our top 5 for this week. And we're doing top 5 reinforcements. Who knew it? I did. So Maurice.
It's a surprise to me. I didn't know.
There we go.
Top 5 reinforcements. Figure it would make sense, being that we have a new ship, right? So we have a couple new ships, actually. So let's see where they stack, if at all. At number 5, who do we have here, Maurice?
It's funny how these change. This ship, I don't remember. I think it was number 2 the last time we did this. But this is 5's ship, the reinforcement. Let me look up the official name here. I didn't.
The Umbaran Starfighter.
Yeah, but what's the reinforcement ability's name? Basically, it comes in, it's going to remove a lot of these ships. You can sub in different ships because a lot of these ships are going to do very similar things. But the Starfighter, I believe, is the best one in terms of turn meter removal. It comes in, removes turn meter. That's actually going to target lock any character or any opposing ship that you bring to 0 turn meter, which is great because the special move on the ship, regardless if there's a taunt or not, it will blast a bomb to all the target locked enemies. So if you time it properly off the bench, after all the enemy ships take a turn, you can bring it in and just obliterate the whole fleet. And target lock all 4 or 5, however many ships there are, come in and drop the paint on them. It's a very good ship, and we saw it a lot in that very, very short-lived Mace meta that we had. I still like the ship a lot. I don't regret taking 5s up and really investing in that ship. That's always going to be a very, very useful ship. Dispel with the basic. The reinforcement's great.
Yeah, plus it's a tanky ship, so being that most people are running Houndstooth these days, it's not quite as necessary anymore. But back in the day, this ship was a lifesaver because it would kind of come in, and if you were running, like, let's say a Mace fleet, you could kind of slap Taunt on this ship, and you'd be kind of forced to deal with the counterattack and all the nonsense. And it's a good ship overall. It has some pretty decent damage, and the reinforcement ability is obviously pretty good. But that's our number 5 reinforcement in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Our number 4 reinforcement ship is the TIE Silencer. Okay, so the TIE Silencer is probably
no, the shuttle, the other Kylo ship.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So this top 5 has been tainted. Okay, because
sorry, I should have just let it roll. I apologize. That was not very professional of me. I apologize.
No, it's okay. Honestly, I kind of feel like the TIE Silencer could be here too. So, as far as that goes, I think the reason that he was saying that Kylo's shuttle would be here. What's the purpose behind the reinforcement ability for Kylo's shuttle?
Well, the shuttle is very unique. It's a very unique ship. Like the last ship we mentioned, there are a lot of ships that do the same thing. This one's very unique. It's going to come in and it's going to prevent any further. Like if you bring it in first, it's a ship you want to bring in first. Any following reinforcements of the enemy team, any reinforcements that come out, they're going to lose 20% turn meter. So, like let's say the Ebon Hawk comes out, he's not going to be able to do his reinforcement ability immediately. You're going to have a turn to slow him down, stun him, do whatever the case may be. It was very effective in the Mace meta for when people would bring out that Anakin ship and just create anarchy instantly with an Anakin ship. The Anakin ship would come out, you'd have the shuttle out there, and as soon as the Anakin ship comes out, it's a very squishy ship, especially everybody had it 3-4 star, lose 20% turn meter, you could just take care of it before you even really got to drop that bomb. So it's very good, and he gets to come in. And not only does he doesn't do much in terms of any physical things you can physically see, but he comes in, removes the turn meter. But what he gets to do, he gets to instantly use his move, which is going to suck his turn meter down and feed it to everybody else, especially if you pair him with the Silencer who you have here on the screen. I mean, it's basically, he just turns TIE Silencer into a machine gun with his kit. So he's very, very good to bring in as your first reinforcement to complement the Silencer that I'm kind of shocked kind of fell off the board there. That's a great ship.
Well, Afterburner is the buff that the Silencer gains when it comes in, and it also gains 25% offense. And basically, the Afterburner is that it gains advantage and it reduces its cooldowns when the TIE Silencer attacks with advantage. So, just because of the fact that the Silencer has, overwhelming advantage, which is its special attack, which does a ton of damage. Being able to reduce its cooldowns is a huge benefit for this ship, and it hits pretty hard. It's just one of those ships that overall, has a ton of benefits because it's one of those high DPS ships that can kind of mow some of your enemies down, and there's not that many that hit like super hard like this one does. So even though it's kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit in the current meta, I still think that they'll be used for the TIE Silencer ship, especially as we get closer here to the end of the year, when I'm going to bet my last dollar that we're going to be getting some more first order ships, if not a first order capital ship at some point.
Yeah, there's a lot of ships that you can argue make this list. I mean, there are a lot of good reinforcement. This one's definitely that Afterburner ability that he gets when he comes in out of reinforcement is really cool. You basically, if you can keep advantage on him, especially if you pair him with the shuttle. He can constantly have advantage, and he's just going to constantly refresh. You'll be able to drop his big special bomb, his missile there, over and over and over again, and just give yourself foresight if you kill. It's very, very good. This one definitely could have made it. So
maybe we'll get the dreadnought. That'd be kind of
maybe
cool.
so.
That'd be cool. All right, let's move along to our number 3 best reinforcement ship in Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. What do we have here?
Number 3 is Lando's Millennium Falcon. Much like the shuttle, this is going to be a unique one. Basically, he's one of the ones you want to use towards the end of your reinforcement line. Every time he comes in, and every reinforcement ability, or excuse me, every reinforcement the enemy has brought into the match, Lando's going to take that many turns. And Lando comes in, he's got a move that dispels, he's got a move that does bonus damage to debuffed enemies, and his basic attack also gives defensive penetration to a random enemy. Defense penetration in ships is pretty baller. It does a lot of damage. We're seeing that now with the Millennium Falcon. He gives everyone defensive penetration. Very, very good ship. Really good, especially if you fall behind in a match or you're using Thrawn, who's a slower capital ship. You can really come in and turn the tide with this ship. There's not really a ship like it in the game. I mean, you can come in, dispel a taunt, do some defense spread. You can go 3-4 times, depending on when you bring it in. Really, really turn the tide in your favor. The ship does require pretty significant investment if you want to come in and really just boom, 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 do a lot of damage. But very, very good.
That attack where it like corkscrews into the opponent is a pretty high damage attack too. So I forget what the name of that one is. I think it's is it calculated enhancement? Is that L3's ability, or is that the core ability Double Down? It might be Double Down.
Let's see. The second special is Lando's. The third is the debuff one L3 has. I'm not sure which one is the corkscrew move.
Okay.
But yeah.
Yes, one of my favorite ships to use. I got that one maxed out pretty fast on that because it was just too good not to.
Yeah, no, it's a great ship. It's just, again, it's one of those things where you have to make an investment into Lando, you have to make an investment into L3, and you have to have the ship ability materials to kind of put into it. And there's some other Millennium Falcons in the game, so that kind of in some cases take precedence over it. So it's one of those things where it's a great ship, but your priorities are always going to be your starting lineup, and then the first couple of ships you're going to use out of your reinforcements. Like Maurice said, this is one of the better ships to use kind of towards the end because it allows you to kind of take all the turns there when you've pretty much already gotten towards the end of the battle, and it can get you an opportunity to take 3 or 4 turns in a row, which is obviously super awesome if all the cards fall in the right way for you. So I mean it's just one of those things where it's a great reinforcement ship. It's also kind of circumstantial, but it's definitely worthy of mention for sure. But that's our number 3 reinforcement ship for Star Wars Galaxy Heroes. Our number 2 ship is the Ebon Hawk. So,
yep, our new friend, the Ebon Hawk.
Our new buddy, the Ebon Hawk. So, I mean, with, cool abilities and buffs, like chaff. I mean, of course it has to be here. But,
yes.
It's reinforcement. It comes in and it dispels all buffs on the opposing team. So if you have, let's say, 2 taunting ships on the other side, obviously that's a huge bonus. While it has chaff, it's immune to target lock. So that's pretty sick too. Target lock being, pretty much the major mechanic when it comes to Fleet Arena. Also, it deals some pretty decent damage. Its basic attack can't be evaded by Sith enemies, which is not going to be huge right now because there's not a lot of Sith ships, but it inflicts buff immunity for 2 turns. It dispels target lock on all allies. It grants all the allies chaff. And I feel like we're not pronouncing chaff correctly.
I'm pretty sure we're not. It's quite all right. Well, let's roll with it now.
But it also on its special ability, Scramble Scanners, it gains 20% critical chance for each other cargo ship ally. So if you have, let's say, the Houndstooth and Han's Millennium Falcon in there, you're going to be gaining a lot of bonuses. Also, like Lando's ship. I mean, there's going to be a lot of bonuses that you gain, and additional critical chance you're going to gain from those other ships being there, which means you're basically going to be critting all the time. So it's a great ship all around, and I think that it'll see more use as more people unlock it.
Well, just everyone in the chat here is thinking Cassian's better. That's because we're in the middle of the Rebel meta.
Right.
You slap Cassian on, during that Mace meta, or slap it in during the Geonosian meta. Cassian's not nearly as good as the Ebon Hawk's going to be for your team. The Ebon Hawk's interesting because you bring it in, Cassian, you bring it in and you pretty much do the assist move. That's really the only damage dealing thing that he's got. Everything else is kind of bleh. But Ebon Hawk you bring in, and while if you do max out the reinforced ability, some of the elements of the abilities are kind of redundant. Like you're going to dispel target lock twice, but you can debuff again. But it is interesting to bring it in. You're going to dispel all the debuffs, right? You're going to dispel all the debuffs. You're going to grant yourself chafe, and then if you do T3's ability, you'll be able to land buff immunity on, say, a Houndstooth or another tank, or even the Millennium Falcon, who I guess would cleanse himself. But you get to come in, dispel everything, and then land buff immunity, which is pretty cool. I like that a lot. This ship is going to be very good. It is the new shiny. Not very many people are going to have a 7-star. Don't know if it's going to be super effective at 4 or 5-star. We will see in the next few weeks, but this one has a lot of long-term potential. So maybe if you can't get it finished this time, maybe save a few crystals and really finish this ship out the second time this event comes around. So
I think the nice thing is that it's the fact that it's similar to Cassian. Is Cassian can be used where he needs to be used. And this, we can use the Ebon Hawk on another team to be able to fill that one out and be able to do this something similar to it too. So you're going to end up with two really nice teams by having similar abilities. And that's something that we sometimes lack. Usually have one toon that does everything, kind of like Nest. You want to have, I wish I had more nests or types of nests, but you're kind of stuck with one and you're having to use that with just so many teams. But this way you can split it and you can actually create two different teams with similar ships.
That's a good point. I mean, especially, let's say your guild places your meta build squad on defense in TW, and so does the opposition. Well, it'd sure be nice to have an AoE dispel to take that MILF out. Now, that's a great point. Now you got one.
Yep, now you got one. Yeah, because now you've got, like I said, two ships with similar abilities, and you can split them up.
Yeah, I think that it'll be interesting to see how it does go with the other cargo ships. If that defense boost really does play a huge role, and it gives himself foresight too. I think it's whenever it's critically hit, it's got a chance to do foresight. So that's it could end up being a very durable ship. It could be, you might keep your Rebel fleet and use this on defense. This could be a better defensive ship than Cassian's, which if they ever give us any sort of challenge in Grand Arena with ships, besides, you got 3 fleets to take out one, it's going to happen, right? I mean, I haven't really encountered a fleet that I couldn't beat. It might take me 2 tries, which is effective, I guess, but this, there's just too many ships. Once we start placing 2 fleet commanders on defense, when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Now for our number 1.
The piece de la resistance.
Our number 1 reinforcement in Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes. Who do we have here, Maurice?
The Phantom. I think everybody knew this was coming. This one is great. You basically get to come in, and then your very next turn you can bring another ship in, which gives you a 5 versus 4 advantage, which is pretty huge in any element of the game. You get, an extra character. So it's you get 2 reinforcement abilities back to back. So you can bring in Phantom. I know offensively, currently, a lot of people are using the Phantom, then immediately bring in Cassidy, taking out the MILF, and just, calling it a day, 45 seconds. You call it any ship. It's not even Rebel specific. I used to use it on, with my Geonosians. I used my 3 Geonosians, bring in Phantom, then bring in, Poe to kill an enemy. That's how I used to play my fleet arena. I fell real far, but, I can beat anybody in 30 seconds on offense. So this ship, this is similar to the Ebon Hawk, and the ship itself is going to take a massive investment. But the reinforcement ability is going to be effective, even with undergeared pilots. This is going to be a great ship for beginning players. A lot of advice, good advice to take as a beginning player is to slowly work on your Phoenix. So you get Thrawn, then you get the Chimera, you get these ships, so on and so forth. Phoenix are real versatile for beginning players. This is a good way to, this is a good ship to maybe invest your very first reinforcement ability mats into.
Listen, I see all you guys laughing about my fleet, okay? It's funny, okay? But the thing is that I'm also prepared, okay? So as far as that goes, if I decided to turn on the jets here for my... No, it's okay. I'm just kidding. If I decided to turn on the jets here for my my fleet, I could put a lot of ability mats and gear. I could put a lot of stuff into any team that I want right now. I'm kind of ready to put together like a solid team, and that's really why I've been saving, is because there wasn't really much shift in fleet, and I don't really play it much. So I figured if there ever was some major content that dropped for ships, I would have the reinforcement materials and the ship Omegas to kind of jump with the meta wherever it goes. And, I don't have the Millennium Falcon right now because, again, that was kind of a ship, that was a legendary event, the only legendary event that I've ever taken a pass on in this game. So, I'm sure when that comes back, I'll be ready and I'll get that prepped. But, whenever the new meta shifts, if it's going to be integral to some sort of new game mode that they maybe release for ships. I've been just kind of thinking since Ships 2.0 came out that they're going to do something bigger for ships, and it just hasn't come. So I've just seen no reason to really go all out on it. But if some game mode comes or some raid comes where we need to have ships, I'll be ready to kind of take the most applicable ships for that content and pump my resources into it. So that's really where I'm kind of at with that. But yeah, no, I mean, there definitely would be a lot of benefit to getting some crystals from Fleet Arena, so it's something I should consider. But yeah, so that's our number one. I mean, the Phantom's without question the best reinforcement in the game. It's got, the ability to reduce the cooldowns of the capital ship, to bring in another reinforcement, and that's really just OP. So, if you don't have this ship done or prepared, you definitely should. It does take a big investment. There's 3 characters. Fortunately, for those of you that are kind of coming into the game, now or later, it does benefit you to go for that Phoenix squad early on in the game. So these are going to be characters that you're probably going to want to go for regardless. But other than that initial, early game boost to kind of get your Rebel team together and to get your Thrawn unlocked, there's not much value in these characters other than, let's say, Ezra Bridger in a Jedi squad, because, there's just not much use right now for Chopper or for Sabine in other teams. So it's just one of those things where you're going to have to invest again in characters that you're not really going to use that much other than for ships. So, but it's worth it because this is really a great ship all around.
Mm-hmm.
But we do have an honorable mention, and it is Plo Koon, who has actually some really good ship abilities, because everything else about Plo Koon sucks. It's horrible.
Yeah. Right at the exact same time you announced it, McFly said, "Is this the best pilot, best ship combo?" No. Plo Koon is not the best at anything. This ship kind of represents the best of the healing sort of reinforcement abilities. There are several that heal, much to Zachary Robinson's dismay. It is not Ahsoka. I'm sorry, buddy. But this one is probably the best ship for healing purposes in the game. It comes in and gives protection and health, and then if you totally max it out, it's going to actually dispel all debuffs from your allies. So you're going to come in, cleanse everybody, and then you're going to grant 40% health and 40% protection. This ship was a nightmare underneath Mace. It kind of goes real well with Mace teams, real sustain type build. Defensive teams. A lot of people are using it in TW. Just a very good ship, kind of save your butt if you start falling behind. Can really turn the tide, especially on offense if you're physically controlling when to bring it in. The AI kind of brings it in and wastes it. And it's kind of stupid sometimes, but this is definitely one. If you guys are really into ships, this is definitely one you want to have. It does require you to gear Plo Koon, but so be it. Again, this is another example of a ship, though. If you're just using it for the reinforcement ability, you don't really need to invest too much into it. It's going to give you the same effect, regardless of the pilot level. Just the rest, it won't do anything else for you.
Yeah, it was really hard to press that button to do that golden Plo Koon. I was like, oh, God, okay, I'll do it.
Yeah. I mean, as far as that goes, it's just it's a great ship, but I mean, it's behind again a character that's just kind of useless. So that's kind of what their trend is with this stuff. Is if the character's not going to be viable in arena or grand arena or raids or anything else in the game, let's give them a good ship.
Yeah.
And they want to have all the characters be necessary to gear up for some reason or another. And this is just one of those characters that hasn't received any love since the beginning of the game. And, I mean, hopefully that'll change at some point, but, his ship is pretty darn good. So, he's got a lot of benefits. And again, he's kind of more past meta than he is current meta. But he's definitely somebody that, I think will continue to be a useful ship going forward as we, also continue to gather more ships. I mean, obviously they've put some more attention into adding ships recently. We had Palpatine's ship, the Millennium Falcon. We had, obviously we have the Ebon Hawk now. They've released more ships in the last 12 months than they've ever released, in the last 6 months really, than they've ever released in this game. So hopefully they continue that trend, and then again, hopefully they add some sort of end game ship content that really makes it all worthwhile. Because again, even though Fleet Arena is cool, I would like to see like a fleet raid, or at least a fleet, maybe a fleet phase of a raid, something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we could still all cross our fingers and hope for the Death Star at some point, but we'll see.
That would be awesome. But man, we so need capital ships.
Yeah, that too.
We've got to have capital ships if we're going to continue to do any kind of raids or the second fleet in GA or whatever. We've got to. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. No, Plo Koon is worthless. And I don't care if you take rank 1 with him, he's worthless. I'm not talking about the ship, I'm talking about the character. But his ship is good. It's good, for sure. I mean, it's got uses in any meta, for sure. But that's our top 5 for reinforcements. That's our top 5 for the week. We're going to go back to some gameplay here. And as we do that, this is typically that time where we, take a look at any questions that you have, any questions that have been asked so far in the stream. And if you have any questions or topics you'd like to discuss, before we wrap the stream up, now's the time. So I'm going to go in and do another ship battle here with the Ebon Hawk. And while we do that, if you guys have any questions or topics you'd like to talk about, now's the time to type those into the chat. Maurice will scoop them up, and we'll try to wrap up the show with your questions.
Everyone's having a temper tantrum about Plo Koon. He's not worthless. You can take first with him in arena. Yeah, you can take first with any Jedi you want to put in your Revan team. It's just, it take first with that team. It's it is cool. I mean, Plo Koon does dispel. But
Plo Koon is horrible. Let's just be real. He's got no damage, okay, and he's just a disgrace to the Jedi Order. Okay, and I understand that some of you may have had some success with him because Revan is OP, but that doesn't make him good. That doesn't make him good as a character. You can't throw him in any other team and find use for him. And hopefully
he's on par with Newt Gunray, right? Like they have like little niche uses, and they're just you could build cool stuff behind them, but it's
kind of like it's a tune that you just slap in as a fifth or a quickie lead that might take down a C or D team or at least help with it, and that's about it.
It's useful versus like if you come across like a Zeta Maul lead in Grand Arena or Territory Wars. Plo Koon is useful there. I wish he had more clone. So if he had a little bit more clone synergy, I think he would be a much, much better character. Because the clones could use a little assistance, like a little, sub in, sub out,
right.
Because Rex is so good on every team. It'd be nice to throw Plo Koon in there and have him actually synergize with the team better. So I don't know. I don't know. I guess he's just an original dated character. He was in the game before Echo and Cody completed out the clones. So I mean, he's an original character, but
he's definitely one you just didn't really want to work at the very beginning because he was just that bad from the very start.
All right.
Yeah,
we're not beating on him, man. It's just I don't know.
Well, listen, you also have to understand that there's a little bit of a passion here behind Plo Koon not getting a rework so far in this game. So, and I'm not thrilled about that. So it's one of those things where, until he gets some love, I'm not going to be happy with his kit.
I mean, if they continue down this path. The Separatist droids, maybe the clones get some love, and some of these Clone Wars era Jedi could get some love too. It was probably almost a year ago now where they said we don't have any plans to rework, existing Jedi, right? Because everyone, I guess it was it Revan? Who was it? It was Bastila. I think when Bastila came out, everyone was speculating that all of these Jedi were going to get a rework. I think there was maybe a Jedi in the monthly login or something, and then they came out and like clearly stated that they weren't going to rework any existing Jedi, but that was a long time ago. So
I really, they said the same. I mean, the same thing happened with the clones, and I'm really hoping that that's not the case.
I'm saying that they said, look how long it took them to do Grievous. I mean, don't lose hope, buddy. Don't lose hope. Nostala. What?
I've lost hope.
Anakin needs some love with the clones. Yes, that would be nice as well. That would be very nice. But unfortunately, we've already gotten the Anakin rework. They reworked him to give him that god-awful AoE that exposed himself. Thanks, guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for giving this super squishy attacker 6 exposes on his head. It's just silliness.
He kills himself, yeah.
All right, we do have.
Remember that.
That was one of them. That was in the chat currently. All right, first question. All Me asks, the Ebon Hawk is okay? Yes, it's good. I would definitely acquire enough shards to unlock it. If you want to lock it, it's up to you. But it's gonna if it comes out and you're gonna need it for something, it's gonna be very nice to have. And as Abby mentioned, it's going to be very good for depth. So, Okay, this will go. Boba Fett asks, why does the Ebon Hawk have packs unlike EP Shuttle? Just because of viability or possibly needed for the Revan event? Why do you guys think that you can buy the marquee packs for the Ebon Hawk, but not Palpatine Shuttle?
I don't know. That is kind of weird.
I think they're like testing things out. Maybe last time they meant to do it and didn't do it, or they decided to change things up and it didn't go over so well, so maybe they threw it in. But who knows? Who knows what they're actually thinking about it?
They probably tried to. They probably thought that a lot of people were going to just refresh a million times until the character was 7 stars, and they realized that they lost sales because of that, and they figured this time let's throw a pack out there, so for those people that just want to buy it, they can just buy it.
Right, because the drops, in a sense, well, the last time really weren't that great with the shuttle. And they were okay, but they really weren't that great. It seems to be better this time around, maybe with the drop rate or whatever. But then you've got the pack along with it. And the shuttle, it was a real struggle to try to get it to 5 stars at all. So,
Well, I don't. It doesn't apply to me personally, but this could be viewed as kind of throwing the big spenders a bone, because this. I mean, I would almost think. I mean, buying the marquee packs is going to be cheaper than refreshing for 800 and 1600 every day, and then having to.
Oh God, yeah.
Especially, I mean, you're if you're out of stuff to farm and you're like three refreshing carts like node, that can be an expensive adventure. So I'm not going to buy it. But I mean, if
was it me or was Yoda's lightsaber yellow there? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Yoda's no, it's green. It just looks it looks. I mean, if you look at Bastila's yellow lightsaber, you could tell it's not the same color, but it looks more yellow than it does green. Anyway, just thought I'd point it out. But what were you saying, Maurice?
Oh, nothing. Just, I mean, I guess, like Abby said, I think they're just kind of testing it, kind of slowly seeing what works best for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, not what works best for us. What works best for them.
Well, I mean, maybe like it's very easy to unlock, because if you think about it, it's really no different than really a marquee, right? I mean, if you simply just want to unlock the ship, you could probably just do a couple hundred refreshes or a couple refreshes a day and get it unlocked. That's not too much more than what people are probably already doing, especially if you're panic farming for Karth. You have to refresh at least once. So I mean, this could be the new marquee. Like, this could be the way they release characters for the next quarter or year or so. Because they kind of burn us out with marquees. Everybody complained about the marquees, so they're like, well, we still have to release new content. Maybe they listen to our feedback and they're trying it this way now. I mean, I'm not sure. I have no idea where these came from. This was, I think, a shock to everybody. But yeah, I like these events.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it's cool. Very cool.
To make marquees, though, that they would have to do a 2-3 star unlock just to keep it, because marquee characters are completely free. You don't need to do anything. You don't even spend energy to get them unlocked. So it would be nice if they perhaps do a 2-star character or a 3-star character as the next one.
I mean, just to get the ships unlocked, and then if they return event again, let's say in a couple weeks, and you can do it again. That'd be cool. For sure.
We'll see what they do with these. I mean,
I like buying those 600 energy packs or whatever. Those are pretty cool.
Yeah, I do. They do get me for that every time one of these comes out. I always do. But yeah, that's packs there if you guys want them. If not, no biggie. It'll come back. Dexatronic, is it true if you're number 1 in the raid when everyone posts zeros that you'll be number 1 if you get top score?
No.
Yes. No?
No.
You mean if your RNG places you at the top of the raid, then yes. But if you because whenever somebody posts joins a raid, it chooses like a random position for you in that raid. Okay, so If you're saying if that random position puts you at number 1 and then you get the top score in the raid, then yes, you will be at number 1. But, if you get the best score in the raid, that doesn't mean you're going to automatically be number 1.
Right.
Because if somebody else solos the raid and their RNG placed them, higher than you, then they're going to get the number 1 rank. It's just how it is. So if you, join and you see like right before the raid starts, you're at number 1 when everybody has 0 points, then unless somebody hasn't joined yet and they're going to suddenly get placed ahead of you, you're probably going to take number 1 if you finish.
Yep, I never have. I have never placed number 1.
It's only, but this only applies to like the Rancor. I guess now if you're in a more advanced guild, you probably solo the tank too. But you have to tie. It has to be a multi-way tie with the very highest score possible. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But then that's honestly, and they might have changed it. I don't know, but they changed it this way because, year or 2 years ago, your placement was determined by your player ID.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Whether it was alphabetized, whether it went numerically first, I have no idea. I can't remember the exact way to do it, but like people would be like, "Oh, I got a good player ID," which meant that every time you signed up for the Rancor, if all 50 of you posted zeros and all 50 of you sold it, the guy with the best player ID would get first place every single time in your raid. Every single time.
Yeah, if your ID started with a Z or something, man, you'd be down at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah, I was I was living in the 20s and 30s for a long, long time in the Rancor. Nothing I could do about it.
That happened with placement at the top ranks after, for raid points too for guilds. Like, so some guilds had like a good just a good number, and no matter what, if they tied, their name would still be on top as like rank 1 for guild points or raid points.
Oh, I remember. I mean, there were guys that would create, like the real competitive guys, like an alt for the guild. They'd create several alts. Like a lot of people will re-roll their accounts for the characters. They were re-rolling the accounts for guild ID numbers, like to get the very best player ID number, guild ID number, and just like, whoa, that's intense. A little too intense for my liking, but people were doing it. It's they changed it though. That was a good change. Yeah. A lot of people had to, like, a lot of guilds adopted like rotation systems, so it'd be fair. 5 guys would go this day, 5 guys would go that day, or you just pull a lotto number and you're the only one. Like everyone has a period to join. And if you're that guy, you just would solo the raid by yourself and take first. If someone doesn't post a 0, they could still possibly take first. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Nathaniel Morgan, how is Plo Koon useless? We already answered that. Zarathustra, what's up? Do Juwani and Canderous have teams yet? Raids or GATW?
I would say they're probably in a team together.
I haven't really seen any significant raid comps. I think that's simply just because it's a dot-based team, and these Sith raid bosses have such high tenacity. I don't think I haven't seen too much. Have you guys seen anything at all raid-wise?
Not really.
Okay, let's see. No. I do know Grand Arena. They're a pretty good team. Offensively, I mean, if you get them rolling, they will take a little bit of practice. Get them rolling. It's a very good team with that Carsada to get the max amount of banners, because there is a lot of healing, health, and protection. So it's a good offensive team. It's a pretty good defensive team too. I'm not sure if Juwani is necessarily the best fifth. I know Juwani's real good with Basila in 3 vs 3. I do know that she's a nice tank for that if you want to put your GK with your Revan. And then you can still have maybe your Kanan for your Phoenix trio, and then you can use old Ben with some Rebels. It does provide nice depth, for sure. I don't personally have Juwani even unlocked. I mean, I've got some shards going for her, but I haven't physically used her myself. I don't know if you guys have. Do you guys have Juwani? Any advice?
Yes, I do.
How How are you finding her best? Like, where are you using her?
I've been testing different teams because I find she's okay on like the Karth team, but not as good as I would like. I've tried her on the Kira team, and she's a little worse on that one. Who was I using? I did use her on Basila, and I found that she worked really well with that. I might put a Zeta on her. I haven't put a Zeta on her yet, because I'm just kind of holding like 5 or 6 Zetas right now to figure out what's going on next. But I like her, but I'm not sure where she fits. Really, that works really, really well.
Yeah. I kind of feel like the same as you. I mean, I don't have her probably as high level as you do. I mean, mine's still a work in progress for this event, but I feel like she's kind of a character that a lot of people thought would be able to replace General Kenobi in the Jedi team for Jedi Revan, and I think that some of those expectations were kind of curbed as more people got her to 7 stars, Gear 12. They realized that Kenobi's still a better fit. She does have a really extended taunt, so she taunts for I think 3 turns, which is pretty awesome. So she is very good with, let's say, a secondary Jedi team as an alternative to Kenobi. If you're running, let's say, a Bastila team in GA or TW, she's also a pretty good team in an Old Republic squad. If you're running, let's say, Carth Onasi, Canderous, Juhani, I'd say Mission and Zalbar. But overall, her viability probably is best with, let's say, like a secondary Jedi team right now, because she's definitely not up to snuff with General Kenobi for sure. And listen, that's not saying much. Not a lot of characters are. I mean, that guy's withstood the test of time. He's the best tank in the game still to this day. So.
Yep, hands down.
Yeah, and both of them have. And Kenobi's AoE cleanse applies to all characters, whereas Juhani's is just going to apply to the Old Republic. So, I guess you will probably need a cleanse on that Old Republic team unless you just go balls to the wall tenacity. You do get a little bit of tenacity from Karth Lead, but if you want to go real tenacious, you could probably gamble and go with somebody like Nest or somebody else. But if you don't have those type tenacity mods, and you probably are going to need Juhani or another cleanser. I'm finding Visas to be pretty good on that team. I do. Visas is probably going to slot in there for me for the foreseeable future, just because I'm not really using her anywhere else. But I was really excited about Juhani. It's just kind of fizzled out. Like I guess you read the kit and you see her, and then you're like, well, I kind of expected her to do a lot more damage than she does. With all those boosts and stuff, that's what kind of turned me off. She didn't put up the numbers I was hoping she would.
Maurice was really looking forward to it. Yeah, you have to understand, Maurice has pictures in his house framed of him and his family members, but what he did is he cut out the faces and he just put in, the face of Chopper and
It wouldn't be Juhani, because the last time I tried to do my KOTOR playthrough, I pretty much just stalled out where you fight her, at the temple, and you need to go around and farm those dogs for about 15 straight hours. I said, nah, not today.
He's got one picture next to his bed of him and his ex-girlfriend, and he cut out her face and just put Juhani's face in there, so it's just him with
What
Juhani.
A creepy thing to wake up to.
But now he has to turn the picture around because Juhani is just so not meta. So, yeah. That was a bad joke, so we're just going to move on.
All right, if you do another arena battle, will you put in Ayla instead of Bastila from Nathaniel Morgan? Josue Garcia, what should we expect? The Darth Revan Malik announcement.
I'd say, like I said, probably 6 to 8 days.
Something. Well, at least they've pretty much already told the player base. I would consider that HK47 Twitter, Reddit debacle confirmation. I mean, I don't know about you guys. That sounded pretty concrete.
Yeah.
With the forum post, I mean, the HK is definitely going to rework. So,
Yeah. It's just a matter of when.
yeah.
And he already said that on Reddit that it's not going to be like a huge benefit to droids or anything. So if HK's getting reworked and it's not for droids, then what else could it be for, right? So it's probably going to be something around Revan, and I would say within a week. Look for within a week from now. You'll get some information about it.
All right, McFly, best first, I guess.
Best first 3 arena starter ships.
Yes.
I would say you're looking at the Houndstooth, Han's Millennium Falcon, and you could go multiple ways here. Some people put in another tank like Biggs. You could also go with.
Biston.
You could go with Biston. You could go with Cassie and Z-Wing. You could go with.
Well, if you got to really develop a lot of them, for those that really went all in on the Phoenix, Ghost isn't bad, but you really have to have a decked out Ghost to be in that starting lineup. It's too squishy, too vulnerable to opposing like Pistons. Arena meta, if like current meta, I would go Houndstooth, MILF. I would say Biston. Just overall, the best 3 starting ships, I would probably go Houndstooth, the Silencer, and then maybe probably Millennium Falcon. This is pretty lame. Yeah. What about you, Abby? You got anything different? Any ships you like in the starting lineup?
I've tried Cassian, Biston, Ghost. I find actually, dependent upon my shard, I use Biggs or Biston.
Yeah.
That's what I use.
As for overall, I guess Vader's ship would probably make the cut too. That wouldn't be close. So that was a good ship. Let's see. Had a few of them pour in. Okay, Mitchell Cronin. Who do you put on your Karth team, and who do you replace Mission and Zalbar with on the Kira team?
Actually,
well, Karth. My current Karth team is Karth, Mission, Zalbar, Ordo, and Visas Mar. Visas with really, really high tenacity, because that way she won't get debuffed. She'll be able to cleanse, and she does counter. And if she's not debuffed, she'll cleanse even more. So it's kind of an AoE deterrent, because kind of a weakness of that team is kind of Mission is kind of susceptible to AoE attacks. So it kind of makes them rethink their strategy a little bit. That's, at least I think so. I mean, Juwani can fit in there. A lot of people are using Nest with that team. Ewok Elder I used before I got my Visas ready. It was average at best. That wasn't a very good fit. But what about you guys? What's your Karth team looking like?
My Karth team doesn't exist. But if it did, it would be Karth, Canderous. It would be Karth, Canderous, Mission, Zalbar, and either Juhani or I would say
Wampa's a good call, Brendan. That'd be a good one as well.
Yeah, Wampa's a good call. You got a good synergy there with dot characters, so Wampa's a really good option there. Yeah, I would say. Yeah.
Well,
yeah, I would use either Juhani or maybe Wampa. Yeah.
Wampa's actually a good 5th if you swap in that Zeta Vader lead for Karth. Like if you don't have Karth at all, don't have the Zeta, and you have those other characters like Mission, Zalbar, and Ordo, you can use her under Vader lead pretty good. In terms of Mission and Zalbar on the Kira team, I personally swap them out with Stormtrooper Han and Young Han. I think Young Han is definitely a shoe-in, like just a great replacement for Zalbar, or excuse me, Mission. Mm-hmm. Just Zalbar and Stormtrooper Han. I mean, you're left with scoundrel tanks named Stormtrooper Han, Gamorrean Guard, and I guess Gamorrean Guard really wouldn't even synergize because he's not light side. So we're going with Stormtrooper Han and Clone Wars Chewbacca. So those are your picks.
Yep.
Right. For Kira, I would choose L337, Vander Chewie, Young Lando, and CHS.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
That's good.
Oh, young Lando, he's kind of underutilized, underappreciated.
He's a little underutilized. But you can swap out like either young Solo or young Lando. But sometimes I like to throw something a little different in there.
Little pizzazz for Abby and her.
Little pizzazz.
Little pizzazz for Abby and her absolutely amazing roster.
Okay, let's see.
Any more questions?
Oh yeah, we got a couple more here. We got some porn in here. The Dots to Vader lead is nice and all, but his turn meter removal from Empire and Sith is much better than the Dots sticking. That is 100% correct. But I would always use Vader under Palpatine if I wasn't trying to squeeze an extra team out.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't used Vader lead much in a while, but when Yellow counters, does he stack his offense as well if he has protection up? From DSP, let me double check. I believe it is just when he begins his turn is how it's worded with protection up, but let me double check I'm not misspeaking here.
Somebody's using the Phantom in their starting lineup over here. Not smart.
No, that's not. But I mean, hey, that crit chance up move it's got does some big damage. Yeah, it says when Han starts his turn with protection up, he gains 10% offense with the stacking. So, and also his assist. If you guys do have the Zeta on Young Han, it will only assist an ally during their turn, unlike Mission, who will just assist and assist and assist anytime Zalbar counters, does anything.
Right.
So he's not quite as good as we want him to be, but. Kira, when Yellow counters, there's another one I think that just came in. Ramon making a push for crystals.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, this was it from Doja-san. What is your personal preference on TW Grand Arena strategy? Go hard on D, go hard on our offense, or mixed?
Mixed. You know, you want to go with a balanced defense that you think is going to make it a little bit challenging for them. You also want to leave yourself enough offense to take down their teams, especially now that everybody has Darth Revan or Jedi Revan. You know, you don't know what they're going to do. You know, are they going to
Exactly?
Are they going to cheese it, or are they going to go all in? And I mean, you know, if you cheese it, then you're lucky. But if they don't, and they decide to put in their hard teams on defense, you know, then you're in an interesting position where if you haven't prepared correctly, you know, you're not going to have good enough teams to take out a Revan squad or, you know, a Sith squad. So, you know, it just really depends on your opponent. You know, you want to take a look at what they have and what they could possibly put out there. And if you see that you're, you know, I mean, even though that your GP is the same, you know, that you're kind of an overmatched opponent for them, they're probably going to save some of their better characters to do offense. So, you know, I would, you know, kind of put a balanced team out there, make sure your mods are good on all the teams, and, you know, put tried and true squads out there that you know work. I mean, you know, it works to use the bounty hunters. It works to use First Order. It works to use the Kira teams. It works to, I mean, you don't have to look far to find squads that'll be good for you on defense, and maybe even some more obscure squads that you don't necessarily use very frequently on offense. So, you know, try to get some of those teams together. But just like anything else in this game, it's a farm. Okay, so you're going to have to get together your, you know, 6 or 7 defensive squads for GA, get together your 6 or 7 offensive squads for GA, and just have that prepared so that every time a new event comes, you're ready to go. Just like when territory battles came out, you had to get those squads ready. When territory wars came out, you had to get those. Everybody had to start farming their first order. Or everybody had to start farming their bounty hunters. Everybody had to start farming these teams to have a set number of starter teams and backup teams for defense.
One of the fun things in my other guild, not Alliance or Alpha, but for some reason my other guild has like an Ewok obsession right now, and so everybody is talking about really gearing up their Ewoks and putting Zetas on them because they just want to play Ewok. And I'm like, hey, if you guys want to do that, I have no objection to it. It's whatever you guys want to do. So I think they want to have like a really fun zone or something with like totally decked out Ewoks.
Thane, you would have been really proud of me on the if you watch the Jedi Academy stream, the 100th episode this past weekend. I started off, my first question is about the Eternal Twins, just for you. So
Grander and I go nuts on defense. I did this time. I place the house on defense, and then basically trying out the let's play for territory claim point bonuses. Because if you can't, like, let's say I put my two very best teams, like Ramon mentioned, Freya and Revan in one zone. They can't get through that front zone. Not only have you blocked them from beating Revan, but you've also taken away their opportunity at 150 or 180 points from the territories each. And if they can't get through your front wall, then even if it takes you 3-4 times to beat some of these opposing teams, you can pick through them and win by claiming all 4 territories on the board because they can't. Mm-hmm. They can't take 2. It's worked out well this time. The first couple matches, I did have a pretty significant advantage, right? So. But this one I'm in now, it's a pretty good matchup. He's got some really good teams. He doesn't quite have the speed I do, but that's not everything. He's got really well modded, functioning, just properly built teams, and those are tough regardless of the speed.
Dan Kyrell, thank you again for the donation. We really appreciate it. Yes, it was awesome. I was like, I got to break the ice. It was like 100th episode, and I was like, listen, Ranger, I just got to break the ice. And ask the question that everybody really wants to know. What do you think about the Eternal Twins coming to Star Wars Galaxy Heroes? He got upset. It was funny. You'd like it. But yeah, so I believe Brendo had a question, right?
Yeah, we got 2 more. The first was pretty quick. Ugnaughty asks, I'm done farming tunes from Cantina. What do I use my Cantina energy to farm now?
If you farmed everything from Cantina, then I would, first of all, I would not refresh in Cantina right now. I would just kind of, just use the energy that you get, and I would farm nodes that have a low drop rate for like a low cost. Like, so I would go and farm, like, let's say the 8 cost nodes so that you get more shards, because the lower nodes give you more shards, and then those shards you can convert into shard shop currency. Right, so like you don't want to be farming nodes that cost 20 because you're gonna, or 8 or 12 or whatever, because that's going to cost you more per shard. I would just farm the lowest cost shard node. Like, just go farm Jade Ocean Soldiers node, at the beginning there, and use the shards that you get to convert to currency for the shard shop. Get more gear.
Yeah, I haven't done any sort of breakdown. I just hit 3F, the one with crew and a ship. Whatever energy I naturally accumulate throughout the day, I just...
Oh, that's a good idea too. Yeah.
That's what I do. That's the one I use. Yeah.
Yeah, double farming. You get a chance for two nodes every time you roll. So that's even better. Yeah, I would suggest that.
Yeah, the Kylo Ren one is low enough, and it's got the double, so you get quite a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And then we did have Brendo's question here. How can I use Phoenix, Ewoks, or Rogue One on defense in a way that stands a chance to hold once? Any variations of those teams?
I'm gonna use Phoenix, Awoks, or Rogue One on D in any way to stand a chance to hold once. Any variations of those teams, like Barris on First Order, Nest on Night Sisters, or BH on B2.
I would keep your Ewoks for offense. That way you can kind of pick who you get to play with them, right? Like Ewoks can be tough if they're very fast, but if they're not very fast, chances are that they have something like Wigs on their team. They can at least eliminate somebody quickly and kind of pick them apart. Like if you keep them for offense, even if they're slower, you can use them against teams. You can kind of clock them to where they'll be faster than at least hopefully one enemy team.
You can also
Phoenix.
put together some pretty decent Rogue One squads with Biggs and not Biggs with Chert and Bays. I mean, so if you're utilizing Chert and Bays, you could pretty much insert. You could use Rex there. You could use obviously CLS would work. You could use, but you don't want to waste him on that team. I would say.
They're just I don't.
Who do you think?
I know for elder players, Rogue One is just easy because we've seen it for so long. We went through the Chase meta and played it every single day. So, Jin Chase is okay, but you need some offense. Leia's good on that team. Princess Leia is probably somebody you have developed. That way, if you make her like kind of sneaky good, like put a bunch of offense on her, she might be able to hit somebody and kind of take them by surprise. It's just
I would say maybe also what's her name?
Ahsoka.
Ahsoka, or also Hoth Leia. Leia. Hoth Leia could be good on that team. Another
Hoth Leia is actually pretty good. She's one of the few. Well, I guess Cassian does it too. I think actually, ironically,
I like Cassian.
Yeah, does he have buff block on his basic? Or is that his special?
I think it's. Wait a minute.
K2SO.
I think it's his special that he likes to throw all those little debuffs.
Yeah, because that's going to throw up a bunch of exposes too.
Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, give that one a try. Jin, Cassian, Leia, Chase. That's a pretty good team. You got all sorts of debuffs. You've got Leia constantly spamming the crit chance up, and every time it procs, if she triple taps and it registers all 3 times, that will give you three amounts of I think it's 10% protection when they get a buff. So that's going to fuel pretty significant protection regain.
Another option is also Resistance Trooper. If you don't have him on another squad, he gains bonus turn meter every time somebody exposes. So.
Yeah, that's a good call. Phoenix, unless you have really developed Phoenix team, pretty much everybody knows how to beat Phoenix, just from TW. I mean, we've all seen the Phoenix zones in the back, where Gills went a little heavier in offense. Phoenix is kind of just a throwaway zone. So we've all fought dozens and dozens of Phoenix teams. But Phoenix can get you a win every once in a while just because people try to go in with too little. You do have to bring in something because they have a lot of survivability. So you can't just bring in, leftovers. You do have to bring in some sort of offensive unit to take it out. So if you stick them in the back, they could steal you a win for somebody underestimating them.
For sure. And that's really the main thing here is that, like I was saying with that team utilizing Chase and I think that you're obviously you're not going to hold against a Revan team with Chase, you know what I'm saying, but you can kind of surprise somebody that's going in there with a weaker squad if you put that Chase team like on your back wall, and they may go in there thinking like, oh, this is going to be easy, and just totally underestimate your team. And that's kind of where I'm going at with that. I mean, again, that's really your best bet.
Well, if you mod Chase just right, or actually Bays, that single hit special that he has can really take out an entire tune.
Yeah, it's a good one. Yeah, it's sneaky.
Yeah,
I've come
it
across
is.
a
It's
couple
like a
of those.
surprise. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're just like, whoa, what just happened? He just laid me out for 40K. Like, what?
Exactly. So I think it's going to take pretty precise modding to be able to make them a little more efficient, and hopefully you can mod them enough that it kind of surprises whoever goes in, and they're not expecting it to be as good as it is.
To my Grand Arena opponent, if you could please go, that'd be great. Thank you. That is all. I don't know if I just get the luck of the draw and get lots of Europeans, but they like to make me sweat. Everybody I play likes to make me sweat. Just wait until like the last 90 minutes of Grand Arena just to blitz it. Just like, oh.
That's in every single one of mine that I've been in. There's a lot of them I haven't been in because I just, honestly, I don't have the time. And when they overlap it with TW, there's just not an opportunity really for me to do much. But when I do go in, they never do it until like the last hour before it ends. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Really? So I just kind of sit there thinking, woohoo, I won. And yeah, I certainly don't win every time, but I definitely load up on defense a lot. So works for me.
All right, let's see. All right, blah 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 blah. Something about Kit Fisto I saw. I lost it. Sorry, Nathaniel. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. What about Kit Fisto and Bastila defense to land debuffs on Tenacity Nest? I mean, if you have a geared Kit Fisto, that'd be a way to put him in there. That's the thing. I mean,
I can't even look at him. He's at the bottom of my box.
It's an interesting question.
yeah, but you gotta think. Let me. So I'm not misspeaking. Potency up is not the same as tenacity up. Like it doesn't give nearly the amount of. I want to say it's a small amount, like 25%, 50%. But that's actually a pretty unique, rare buff. There's not too many characters that do that, or if they do, I don't really utilize it much. Hold on. See up is still searching for it. Still searching for it. Yeah, it's not even listed on here. Oh, there it is. 50% potency. So that's semi-significant. But you're still going to need. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could land a few. You could land a few. I mean, it's not going to be consistent. You're probably going to need some additional potency. You know, the more potency you have, the better. But 50% potency is enough. Like if you use like a mission and a Zalbar versus a Bastila team, you will see. excuse me. You will see some of those dots from mission land because she gets all that stacking potency. I think it's only 150% tenacity up from that leadership ability, so it's not insurmountable. I think utilizing some form of tenacity down is probably going to be a better strategy. I mean, if you've got a geared up Kit Fisto, I guess you could use them there. And then, okay, I think this might be the last one. Yeah. All right, you guys ready for the last one?
Sure.
Yeah.
Aberdeen, what's your sneakiest sleeper team for Grand Arena defense?
Ooh, boy.
Well, I mean, if I told you what my sneakiest sleeper team is, it probably wouldn't be my sneakiest sleeper team anymore.
Yep.
That's just something I said to stall while I thought about it.
Yeah, no,
I like droid variations. I do like using like an HK lead with the three separatists. Well, not the two new ones, the three old separatists. and Jawa Engineer in the back, it's a good way to steal one win. They're not going to lose to it twice because it's going to run out of steam. And that's a way to kind of steal one win. Because if you got Jawa Engineers going 250 to 270, once they get to your back line, if you have a good front line defense, they're going to be really scrambling for characters that are able to get to 300 to 320, 30 speed to try to stop your droids. So I mean, it's a good team to use if you go real heavy on your front line. It's a kind of a way to get rid of some characters in the back. I don't really. I run pretty standard stuff this time. It was, pretty boring defense.
You could run some variations of those Karth teams that are pretty sleeper-esque. You could run like Karth and like and like Mission and Zalbar. That's a pretty good team.
Yeah, and you could, if you have a really developed scoundrel roster, you can kind of split up your scoundrels. You can use your Kira with like Young Han and maybe Stormtrooper Han. You could either run like a Stormtrooper Han or a Clone Wars Chewbacca lead with like L3 Vandor Nest and then Captain Han or something ridiculous like that. I mean that would take a lot to get through.
What do you think is the best 3v3 bounty hunter team? Do you think it's Bosk, Boba, and Dengar?
Django Boba Nest. That one
Django
really is tough for me. That one is tough. I don't do too well with that one. I don't know. I don't really. I'm playing with that myself. I guess Boss, Dengar, and who'd you say? Boba. I think that's the go-to. Zam Wessel's not terrible as a 3-versus-3 lead. If you got some speed on her, she's not bad. I don't really know. I'm not really the bounty hunter guy. I'm fooling around with them now. A Face Together had really decked out bounty hunters, so now I want Embo. And then I realize he's 3-star on a 20 energy hard node farm, so I'm not going to have him anytime soon. Yeah. But
if you guys want, I will do a stream where we try to crack the top 50 in Fleet. And I used to be top 10 all the time. I just stopped playing. So I mean, if I worked on the team a little bit, I could probably get up there. I don't know about top 10 anymore, but I could definitely get top 50.
I think Embo is underrated, especially in 3-versus-3. Especially with that Zeta, you can't crit him. It doesn't look that sexy, but that is annoying. It is super annoying to try to kill him. He's just flinging his hat and just crushing your soul. It's like, He takes away his protection and you still can't kill him.
I'm trying to come up with a team that is so annoying and such a timeout team. I certainly haven't finalized it yet or anything, but just been definitely testing some stuff. But when I can stop a top TW person from clearing my defense, I say that's a win. Even though I lost, it was still a win to have a top TW theory crafter not get through my zones.
Oh, in your Grand Arena, or is this in Territory Wars?
Grand Arena.
Oh, there you go. That's a winner right there.
Yeah, I lost, definitely. But I won in the sense that couldn't clear me.
Yeah, I enjoy playing people that are really, really good at the game. I don't care if I win or lose necessarily. I mean, like if I lose, I want to be able to like learn something. Like, okay, I didn't do this right. They did this better than me. Maybe I should do this. Just like when you play people that don't place defenses or just like fight your team once and lose and just give up. You're just like, you can't tell anything. Like you don't learn anything at all.
Right.
It's more about learning my teams are good.
I've gotten some interesting feedback from some of my opponents, because what we'll do is we'll start a chat in game. And then if I'm real, I go, look, I don't have time to do this particular account for GA. What do you want me to put on defense? So I'll put whatever they want on defense, and then we'll kind of share what's going on. So I've kind of learned a lot, actually.
That's funny. All right, so I think we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. It's that time. We've hit the 2-hour threshold, and we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna call it a stream for tonight. But I appreciate everybody hanging out with us on a Monday night. It's a lot of fun. This was a good one. I had a good time. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. As we get more information over the next few days, we'll get ready to talk about it next week on Sunday. So we'll be back on Sunday. We're going to be around at 11 next time. So we'll try to keep the same time, around 11 o'clock on Sunday. And, when we come by next week, hey, Spartan, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man?
Hopefully we'll have some more info on this event and if it's coming or not. But either way, we will keep you guys up to date. Definitely make sure to check out good old Maurice and TMoney stream on Tuesday night at 9:30 Eastern time. And that's on the Operation Metaverse channel. Link is in the description. And, we'll be back for the next one, guys. May the force be with you. And we will see you on the next one. Good night.
May the force be with you.